AI is changing healthcare faster than almost any other industry on the planet, and most people have no idea how deep it goes. We're not talking about robots doing surgery. We're talking about AI that detects cancer earlier than human radiologists, AI that designs new drugs in months instead of decades, AI that predicts which patients are about to deteriorate hours before it happens, and AI tools that are literally saving lives right now. Today, I'm going to break down what's actually happening in healthcare AI, what's real, what's coming, and what it means for you as a patient. Healthcare has been slow to adopt technology historically. Hospitals still use fax machines. Paperwork is absurd. The system is fragmented and inefficient in ways that have cost both money and lives for decades. That's changing rapidly, and AI is the reason. The health AI market is growing at an extraordinary rate, with projections in the hundreds of billions over the next decade. Major health systems, pharmaceutical companies, insurance companies, and startups are all pouring resources into AI-powered healthcare at a level that represents a genuine structural shift. What makes healthcare such a ripe target for AI? It generates massive amounts of data: medical images, electronic health records, lab results, genomic sequences, clinical notes. And AI is extraordinarily good at finding patterns in large data sets that humans can't see. When you combine vast data with powerful models, you get insights that were previously impossible. One of the most mature and impactful applications of AI in healthcare is in medical imaging and diagnostics. AI models trained on millions of annotated medical images are now demonstrating diagnostic accuracy that matches or exceeds expert human radiologists in specific tasks. Google's DeepMind developed an AI that detects over 50 eye diseases from retinal scans with the accuracy of a top specialist. For the many parts of the world where specialist access is limited, that's transformative. AI is doing similarly impressive work in cancer detection. Studies have shown AI models outperforming radiologists at detecting breast cancer in mammograms, catching tumors that human reviewers miss. In lung cancer screening CT scans, AI is catching nodules that are easy to overlook. Skin cancer detection is another area. Apps using AI models trained on massive dermatological image datasets can assess skin lesions and flag potential melanomas at accuracy levels comparable to board-certified dermatologists. The practical impact: earlier detection. Cancer caught at stage 1 has dramatically better survival rates than cancer caught at stage 4. AI screening tools that catch things early could save millions of lives. And many of these tools are being deployed right now in clinical settings, not just in research labs. Developing a new drug traditionally took 10 to 15 years and cost billions of dollars, with a failure rate somewhere around 90%. AI is disrupting this process at a fundamental level. The landmark moment came from AlphaFold 2, DeepMind's AI that solved protein structure prediction, a problem that had stumped biologists for 50 years. Proteins are the molecules that do virtually everything in the body, and understanding their three-dimensional structure is essential to designing drugs that interact with them correctly. AlphaFold predicted the structure of virtually every known protein with remarkable accuracy and made the database publicly available. This is being used by researchers worldwide to accelerate drug discovery. Beyond protein structure, AI is being used to screen billions of molecular compounds, virtually to identify candidates that might work as drugs, compressing a process that used to take years into weeks. Companies like Insilico Medicine, Recursion Pharmaceuticals, and Exscientia are using AI-native drug discovery platforms and have moved candidates from AI discovery to clinical trials in record time. The implications are enormous. Diseases that have resisted drug development for decades because the biology was too complex for human researchers to crack may become tractable with AI-assisted discovery. Rare diseases that affect small populations and thus have little commercial incentive for traditional pharma are becoming more viable targets when the discovery cost drops dramatically. One of the most powerful applications of AI in healthcare is using patient data to predict health events before they happen. In hospitals, AI systems trained on electronic health record data can identify patients at high risk of sepsis, a life-threatening infection response, hours before clinical signs are obvious to human clinicians. Earlier intervention dramatically improves survival rates. Google's Lina, Lymph Node Assistant, uses AI to identify cancer that has metastasized to lymph nodes in pathology slides, improving detection accuracy. Similar predictive models are being used for heart failure, readmission risk, deterioration in ICU patients, and dozens of other high-stakes clinical situations. Wearables are a huge part of this picture. The Apple Watch can detect atrial fibrillation, an irregular heart rhythm that significantly raises stroke risk, and has already been credited with detecting conditions in users who had no symptoms. As wearable sensors become more capable, the data they generate will feed AI models that can catch conditions earlier and earlier. This shift from reactive medicine, treating disease after it manifests, to predictive medicine, identifying risk before symptoms appear, could be one of the most significant improvements in human health outcomes in history. Robotic surgery is not new. The Da Vinci surgical system has been in use for years. What's new is the integration of AI that makes robotic-assisted surgery smarter and more capable. AI systems are being integrated to provide real-time guidance during surgery, identifying tissue types, flagging potential errors, and helping surgeons navigate complex anatomy. Machine learning models trained on thousands of surgical videos can recognize when a movement deviates from the expected pattern and alert the surgeon. For training, AI simulation systems allow surgical residents to practice procedures hundreds of times in virtual environments with real-time feedback before operating on actual patients. This could significantly improve surgical outcomes as better-trained surgeons enter practice. Mental health care has been chronically under-resourced for decades. There are simply not enough therapists and psychiatrists to meet demand. AI is beginning to address this gap, though with important caveats. AI-powered mental health apps like Woebot, Wyza, and Youper provide cognitive behavioral therapy-based interactions available around the clock. Research suggests these tools can meaningfully reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety for some users, particularly those with mild to moderate presentations who might not otherwise access any care. AI models are also being used to detect mental health conditions from language patterns and vocal biomarkers. Research has shown that depression, anxiety, and even early Alzheimer's can leave detectable signals in how people speak and write. These tools are still in development, but represent a potentially revolutionary approach to earlier mental health identification. Important caveat: AI in mental health is an augmentation to, not a replacement for, professional clinical care for serious conditions. These tools are most valuable as the first step in a care pathway, not the only step. One of the less glamorous but enormously impactful applications of AI in healthcare is on the administrative side. Healthcare is famously drowning in paperwork. Clinicians spend large portions of their time on documentation rather than patient care. AI ambient documentation tools, most notably Nuance DAX and similar products, tend to clinical conversations and automatically generate clinical notes. Doctors have reported saving hours per day with these tools. Time previously spent on documentation returns to patient care. Clinical coding, the process of translating diagnoses and procedures into the billing codes required for insurance reimbursement, is being automated with AI. It's a complex, error-prone process that historically required expensive specialists. AI can do it faster and with fewer errors. AI-powered patient triage, scheduling optimization, supply chain management, and insurance prior authorization are all being transformed. While less dramatic than cancer detection, the cumulative effect of administrative AI on healthcare efficiency and cost is substantial. Here's the practical takeaway for everyday people. Some of these AI tools are already touching your healthcare whether you know it or not. Your cancer screening may already be analyzed with AI assistance. AI may be flagging your lab results before your doctor reviews them. Your wearable data may be feeding health models that monitor for conditions. For proactive health management, wearables with AI health monitoring, Apple Watch, Fitbit, Oura Ring, are becoming more medically meaningful. The data they collect can provide real early warning signals. For mental health, if you're in a position where access to professional mental health support is limited by cost, geography, or availability, AI tools can be a meaningful first resource. Use them as a bridge, not a destination. For research and health literacy, AI tools like Claude and ChatGPT are excellent for helping you understand diagnoses, medications, and medical literature. They should never replace a doctor's advice, but being better informed in conversations with your doctor leads to better outcomes. I want to be honest about the challenges because they're real. AI systems trained on historical medical data can perpetuate or amplify existing health disparities if they're trained on data sets that underrepresent certain populations. This is an active research area that the field needs to address. Privacy and data security are enormous concerns. Healthcare AI requires massive amounts of sensitive patient data. How that data is collected, stored, used, and protected matters enormously. Regulatory oversight is still catching up with the pace of development. The FDA has frameworks for AI as medical devices, but the field is evolving faster than regulatory frameworks. And the risk of over-reliance, doctors deferring too much to AI recommendations without maintaining their own clinical judgment, is a real concern that healthcare training and culture need to actively counter. Healthcare AI is not science fiction. It is happening right now, in hospitals, in research labs, in your pocket. The pace of progress is extraordinary, and the potential to improve human health and save lives is genuinely enormous. Staying informed about what's happening in this space matters, both as a patient and as someone living through one of the most significant technological transitions in history. Subscribe to Node Pulse for more coverage of AI developments that actually matter in the real world. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.